Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And the video I'm bringing you today, I wanted to talk about stuff that I saw on my channel a couple days ago. That's basically how like a lot of my videos start. Like somebody tells me something, makes me think of something else that I wanted to talk about. And this one is basically, I got a message on somebody commenting on my gameplay PvP commentary in the Wrathstone patch. So it's like a 2 or 3 month old video of me running a pet sork, and they're like, "Hey, way to introduce cancer to the game, way to promote cancer," and they were joking, but it got me thinking, and I've talked to other content creators I've gotten as well on my channel, but a lot of people, I've seen it on the forums as well, but in general, I feel like there's a pretty big chunk of the ESO community that inappropriately places blame on content creators or PvPers or PvEers for game issues. It's my belief that at the end of the day, the people that are responsible for adjusting the game and fixing the game are the same people. And so if you're going to introduce a new patch and there's going to be new broken sets, you take the blame for letting sets or builds or whatever exist in the game for a long period of time. And so I never personally get mad at people wearing cheesy stuff in PvP. I get annoyed when I die, and that's why I die, because maybe a good fight was ruined by something that was broken. We had a couple 3v10s a couple days ago that were all single-handedly ruined by one bash build. And so that's just the way it is sometimes. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I don't get mad at players running strong stuff. I don't get mad at players, wearing stuff that can nuke your health like that. What I get annoyed at is this has been out since the Elsewhere patch on Xbox, and it hasn't been adjusted yet. They could have put in a patch. They could have done it sooner, but they haven't, and that's the frustrating part. And so, at the end of the day, in open world PvP, all this stuff exists in the game, guys. It's not our job as players to police other people. I'm not going to message people and say, hey, don't wear this strong stuff. Because strong stuff is sometimes subjective. It's very, like, some stuff is open for interpretation. We can all agree that Bash ultimates are very powerful right now, and they're the strongest thing in the game, and a lot of people are running them for that reason. But there's stuff in between that you could get some argument with people from. Now, I try to leap on this guy, and my leap will not go off because open world PvP is fantastic sometimes, but yeah, had a pretty good opportunity for a kill there and missed it. But my point is, guys, is a lot of builds and gear or play styles, it's subjective as to what's strong. And so you'll get all these different interpretations on people's channels. Like if I posted example, a survey, and I said, hey, is Bloodspawn strong or is it overpowered? I guarantee you that there would be no consensus. I would guess that most people would say, 70 to 80% of people would say, hey, it's a strong monster set. But you get the 20% that would say it's too strong. If I posted the same thing about, I don't know, Balorg, is Balorg overperforming? Like, you would still get a mixed review. You'd still see people saying, hey, this is too strong. And so I personally think both those sets are strong. I do not think that they're overpowered. Maybe at some point I'll do a video on it, but my point is when I bring this stuff up, guys, is we don't know how strong this stuff is as players until we test it for ourselves. So I was watching some, this is a while ago now, but I was watching some pet sorks in open world PvP, and I was like, I know pet sorks are strong. I've ran them in the past, and they obviously got a buff, so they're even stronger. It's pretty much a no-brainer that they're very powerful in Wrathstone and elsewhere, but I can't make a video on it until I run it myself. And so I'm just providing this disclaimer, guys. Like, you're gonna like or dislike it, whatever, but I run strong stuff in open world PvP because I like to run it. I want to see if it's strong, and I want to see if it's overpowered. And so if it's overpowered, then I can post a video about it. If it's just strong and people need to learn to play, I can post a video about it. My goal with my channel, I have a few goals with my channel. I like to post fun gameplay commentary where we fight outnumbered fights, and win or lose, like, fun fights are fun fights. I like to also show people how to play different classes, because I believe it's my belief that, posting a build is only one aspect of playing a build. Showing people how you're going to get your kills, how you're going to get a rotation down. That's very important to me as well, so I like to do that. And then on top of that, I like to just talk about my thought process when I'm 1vxing. And the other thing that I love to do is I love to discuss, just the state of the game, what can be done to make the state of the game better. Because, playing this game for years now, I have a pretty good amount of subscribers. I have a lot of people that tune into my channel, and I feel like if I post something and people agree with me, they'll either post it on the forums, the video verbatim, or, if they agree with me and, they kind of thought what I thought, but I just explained it, now they can go to the forums and they can state their point of view and, maybe convince the developers on how things should be changed. And so that's kind of the point of my channel, guys. I saved my resto ult here because I knew bash build was coming in and I couldn't pop my bash build in time even though, or pop my resto even though I knew it was coming because, they just hit me so hard. But anyways, my point is I will test stuff that some people say is strong or broken because I want to see it for myself. I want to see in the grand scheme of things, if it actually is just strong or if it's broken. And obviously, I'm just one person, but if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I really do preach trying to find balance in this game. Like my entire goal is I want to get to a point to where regardless of class. Class, you can hop into open world PvP and you can 1vx on it. Like that's the end game goal, and it all kind of feels the same. And obviously some classes, it's a lot easier to do on, like Pet Stork. Currently in Elsewhere, like that's why I made the video yesterday is, not because, I like trolling Sorks. Actually, like Sork is one of the first classes I ever made. I play it quite a bit. But, anybody that plays for a decent amount of time knows that Pet Stork is very strong. But you always have those people that, they just want everything for their class and they'll say whatever they can so that they can keep their class where it's at. So that's why I posted that video yesterday. But in general, guys, like that's my goal. I keep coming back to this, but I want to find, I want to find the things that are too strong in PvP. I want to find the things that are too weak in PvP, and that involves testing for myself, posting builds and stuff like that. So, in the next couple months, when Scale Breaker's out, when you see me on a build and you're like, wow, you're really running some cheesy shit, it's like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, if this is a learn to play issue or if this is, something that, needs to be adjusted, because I'd like to, get that out there. And, some people disagree with that. They're like, why do you want to popularize this stuff? Why do you want to promote, this toxic gameplay or this cancerous builds or whatever? And the thing is, guys, like if you look at these bash builds, it's pretty easy to figure out what they're running. Okay, like anybody that's been playing the game for a year now, you see the Balorg proc on their feet, you see them glow blue, and then you see when they kill them, this fire animation goes around their feet. It's like, oh, they're running Mechanical Acuity, Balorg, and Vicious Death. Okay, well, it's a stamina build, so they must be running weapon damage enchants. Maybe they're running the bash increase since it's a bash that's killing you. Maybe they're running the bash enchants. Maybe they're running Sword and Board because the Sword and Board reduces the cost of bash. Maybe on top of that they have that in their CP tree. It's not hard. Like if you guys watch these clips of me getting shit on, you see what they're running. Like I don't have to post a video on the bash ultimate for it to get out there and for it to get popularized. But what I do have to do is talk about it, because if it doesn't get talked about and people don't come say what it is and what needs to be fixed, ZeniMax doesn't fix it. And as a perfect example, guys, there was a few patches ago, I was reading the patch notes and a set came out and I was like, holy shit, this set's going to be broken with these two other things. I even said it in the patch notes. I said, like, this is going to be stupid strong, like this needs to be nerfed. And I then went out, like, as I do, I went out and I ran it. And I have multiple clips on my channel of me running this build. And it's still effective. Like, it's still effective to this day. And it didn't get popularized because, people didn't want to play it that way. And so although it's broken, it never got adjusted, and because it never got popularized. And so I'm not going to really bring it up because, you know, if you watch my channel long enough, you know exactly what it is. But my point is these sorts of things don't get fixed unless they get popularized, unless they get talked about, unless they become a problem for ZeniMax and, you know, they get on the forums. Like, that's the only way change happens. And sometimes, guys, you know, like, you know, the content, the people that create this game, you know, maybe they're not big PvPers. You know, maybe they don't see exactly like how these are impacting PvP, and that's fine. Like, that's the best part about this game, is this game can be played a bunch of different ways. You can PvP on it. You can do small scale like me. You can do large scale. You can do all the quest lines. You can do, you know, trials and dungeons. Like, you can do a bunch of things. If you want to get into role playing, you know, you can do that. Like, there's just so many different aspects of this game that you can do, and, you know, it's hard for a development team to look at all these different things and try and adjust a skill, and, you know, sometimes you just miss certain aspects of it and like how it can impact certain parts of the game, whether it's PvP or it's trials or whatever. You know, I could talk about Echoing Vigor. You know, the Echoing Vigor in this last PTS patch. You know, people showed how it was overperforming versus some healers, some healing skills, and they were basically saying like, hey, yeah, Stamina DD with Echoing Vigor is going to produce enough healing to where you don't need a healer, and that's wrong too. And so then they nerfed Echoing Vigor. They went and they nerfed Resolving Vigor in that same patch, you know, which created a huge issue because that's now the PvP patch, the big PvP issue, and now, you know, they want to do stuff for trials, but then they don't want to, you know, impact PvP as well. And so then that's when you have these disparity things. And so my point is, guys, is, you know, the gaming community is going to run stuff that's strong. The gaming community isn't always going to know what's strong and what's overperforming. And it's kind of the job of content creators to post not only strong builds to help players out, you know, to help them like have fun in the game, but it's also, you know, my goal to promote discussion on stuff that may be too strong or may be overperforming, and, you know, what can we do to make the game more fun. Because as you guys can see, like, all these different clips have involved me getting bashed to death. And so obviously that's getting fixed. I don't want to keep harping on it, but, you know, that's a perfect example of what's wrong in PvP currently and what they haven't fixed yet for console and what they could have fixed a month or two ago, and they decided not to. And so we need to place the blame correctly, in my opinion. So that's the end of my video. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.